All right, peace everyone. How you doing? This is the second podcast, YouTube Street Info Mob Beef. Who really ready for the smoke? Expose part two. We're gonna play the YouTube Street Info Mob Murder Doctrine episodes.
DJ K. Slade was a child trafficker. Human trafficking is a crime against a person because of the violation of the victim's right of movement through coercion and because of their commercial exploitation. Human trafficking is the trade in people, especially women and children, and does not necessarily involve movement of the person from one place to another. Okay.
Y'all could call me a rat, but let's make something clear. If I was a rat, Bam and Ahmed would already be in jail, and they know that.
Peace everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. And this is part two, Murder Doctrine episode part two. The untold story of TC Islam, the fourth son of the Amun-Ra of hip hop, Africa Bambaataa. Whew. So I want to make a little statement to my online stalkers, particular one stalker, Khalil Amani. I see you worried about my spelling and all of this stuff. What you need to do, Khalil Amani, is come over here and criticize this murder doctrine stuff. Because I don't care about spelling unless I'm doing something that's finite, like these shows. So you should come over here and mess with this finite stuff and see if I'm spelling or misspelling things wrong. What you say? Hopefully you take me up on my offer. Okay, people, let's get started. We're going to let the computer read.
Murder Doctrine Episode 2 TC Islam, the fourth son of the Amun-Ra of hip-hop.
The Amun-Ra of hip-hop, Africa Bambaataa, because it's Kemetic based.
Disclaimer: the Murder Doctrine series is not to glorify the murder of any individual we discuss. The Murder Doctrine series was created to show how murder, never to be confused with what the Bible teaches us, is a righteous kill, has plagued the hip-hop culture and the music industry since its inception.
Is this the inception of the murder of this brother, TC Islam? A lot of things didn't happen. Number one, Khalil Amani had not yet went and gave an interview to Layla Wills. But Layla Wills went out to Colorado. And I believe she was going to his house. And me and Khalil was good friends back then. We was talking, and she said, I was harassing him, calling him all the time, whatever he want to say. You got it. But the one thing I did tell him was, do not let that woman come to your house. Because you see, TC Islam interviewed with her at his house, and he got rocked to sleep. Don't you get rocked to sleep. Put that little pea shooter you be having on you, and go to a restaurant. Don't let her know where you stay. And I believe I saved that brother lives. I done saved a lot of lives out here. But we're not going to get into all that. We're here to talk about the things I want him to dissect off of here, see if they spelled right or whatever.
Now that we've got the disclaimer out the way, we welcome you all to episode 2 of Israel Doctrine Entertainment, LLC's hip-hop series titled Murder Doctrine Episode 2 TC Islam, the fourth son of the Amen Ra of hip-hop.
The Amen Ra hip hop. Oh, he didn't capitalize the R. Boy, y'all don't know how much this. I love this stuff.
If you missed episode 1 of the Murder Doctrine series featuring Tupac Shakur, then you missed how we discussed the East Coast and West Coast connections to the Universal Zulu Nation and the significant role TC Islam was said to have played in the lead up to the now infamous Quad Studios shooting of Tupac Shakur. Be sure to go back and watch previous episodes, as some new episodes will tie together certain events that the last episode provided information on. In this episode, we will deep dive into the murder of TC Islam and whether a conspiracy to cover up the events surrounding his murder was done intentionally by former Universal Zulu Nation members and affiliate of Zulu Warriors security company, the likes of people like none other than Hassan Poppy Campbell.
Son Poppy Campbell. We got some more names here. Layla Wills, how you doing? I know you probably over here watching.
Some very serious questions will be posed during this episode about TC Islam's murder and events that was going on just before and after his untimely death.
So what I want to do now, I want to switch over to another screen. We got Born Love here, affiliate of Layla Wills and stuff. She done had them on her show and everything. We're gonna put up our copyright disclaimer if we can find it. There it is. Now we can play it.
Right here, man. You know, they from Cypress in Brooklyn, Cypress Projects out in Brooklyn. That's my son. That's my big brother. That's a gunslinger. And Ty told me exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? It was more or less they was trying to take the jury back from Pac. But Pac, being Pac, the way Pac get down, he wasn't having it. And they was mind-boggled by the fact that it wasn't the way that they planned it to be. And Pac was reaching for that 32 he had on him in his boot or whatever, and it just turned into somebody had shot him. But TC Islam did the interview with Pac, and that basically spawned everything that wound up being East Coast, West Coast thing, and you know, God bless the dead for Pac and God bless the dead for Biggs. You know what I'm saying?
So there you have it. There you have it. Mr. Love speaking for itself. So when we start speaking about Mr. Love speaking and this and that and everything, and the documentation that I brought up, you won't say, I'm lying or BSing you. I never lie, I never BS, and you know I bring receipts to the table. And some people like to quote me, I bring receipts to the table. Well, I've yet seen any of your receipts, but we're gonna keep going now.
I personally was subjected to a strategic lawsuit against public participation placed against me by Chicago-based journalist Layla Wills. A strategic lawsuit against public participation can be defined as an individual having false or trumped-up charges placed on them to silence them in their public influence. Another term that is used similar in the modern world of politics is lawfare, akin to the term warfare.
Warfare, people. I've been in warfare with this. Hip Hop Stands with Survivors for a long time. 8 years to be exact.
Layla Wills was said to be the last person to interview TC Islam prior to his death for the documentary Trapped in a Culture, which TC Islam's murder was said to have took place in Atlanta, Georgia on June 11th, 2017.
But what was going on June the 10th? I believe it was something that took place on June the 10th. Let's see. Do I have audio of that?
And then after this interview, a few weeks later, he gets killed. You know what I'm saying? And you think there is that connection with the Zulus, because he was one of the few outspoken ones.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I spoke to him the night before he got murdered. I spoke to him, and pretty much he was crying on the phone. And to be honest with you, I was annoyed with him. I was thinking to myself, shut the fuck up, because
it's very similar to Ron Savage came out and I wanted to split his head to the white meat. Very similar to that. But no one paid attention to this stuff when it was happening but me. That's why I got the documentations of all this stuff. Believe me, I done look deep into what's been going on. I know what's going on, and I can speak on it. That's why they want to say he has nothing to do with it. I have everything to do with it. I'm the reason that it's coming up and being talked about today. And they're right, Khalil, the gatekeeper. I ain't left the gate yet.
During the civil action against me, which was initially Layla Wills filing a stalking no-contact order, Layla Wills falsely alleged criminal charges against me, claiming that I was online brandishing firearms and threatening to harm her. The false claims against me, which led to my arrest without the reading of my Miranda rights by the officers of Cook County, Illinois, was no doubt a breach of the false statement ordinance laws in the city of Chicago by Layla Wills.
She Jason Smolletted me. Jason Smolletted me. And she would have had to pay Chicago, Illinois money for Jason Smolletting me. She dropped the case. I'm through with this cat.
The reason all of the false charges placed on Layla Wills against me is so important to this episode is during the civil case against me, Layla Wills submitted demands that I be compelled by the court to hand over any correspondences I had involving TC Islam in Layla Wills' documentary, which at that time was Trapped in a Culture.
See, the paperwork. Do I need to bring up the paperwork? The paperwork is on my wall. But let me go on my documentations and pull the paperwork out. People, it's very creepy what then took place here. Very creepy what then took place here. A lot of things have happened to me that made me go, Remember that old song, things to make you go, make you think about what's going on, what it took place? Yes, I've been through a lot of it. Here go the documentation. We'll pull it up right now. Let me get it on the screen. Don't need that. How y'all doing out there? You don't have to speak. I know you're here to find out information you would not find out. So you see right here, all email, text, video, and any/all communication with any person regarding the homicide of TC Islam. That's why she took me to court. Khalil Money been running around here lying, saying you were stalking her. No. Take a screenshot, read all of that. All videos containing reference directly or indirectly mentioning Layla Wills in her documentary. Where the stalking at? The video containing Chicago hood rat, Layla Wills, shows just how much a rat she is. Where's the stalking? All emails, text, and any/all communication with God of hip hop news censored regarding Layla Wills in her documentary. Where's the stalking at? When you read stalking, then that's what I did. That's why I was in court. That's why I got locked up for stalking. But if you can't read stalking on this paper nowhere, Somebody been running around here lying and slandering my name for over 8 years. 4, all email, text, chat, and all communication with YouTube moderator Dollar Skills, Like a Black, Tawana Allen, Jaquez Thompson, regarding Layla Wills and her documentary. All email, text, videos, and all communication with Kevin Gillespie regarding Layla Wills and her documentary. Because that's what they use. They say I was on Kevin Gillespie channel talking about this, that it was Kevin Gillespie idea to talk about TC Islam and the murder of TC. Everything is me. Nobody has ever guided me in SHIT. I am a grown man. I lead myself where I want to go. And if hell's there, me and hell got to dance. So, like I said, take a screenshot of it and look at it. And if you see stalking in there, then it was about stalking. You don't see stalking in there. When you see Khalil Money lying saying it was about stalking, please correct for me. Now let's get back to the paperwork on the documentary that I drew up, that I compelled him to come over here and see if I spelt everything right, since you want to see.
The events following the murder of TC Islam was some of the subject matter issued in this civil case brought strategically against me in a Cook County court in Chicago by Layla Wills.
Y'all just seen the paperwork. Layla Wills' name was signed at the bottom on a false, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to get this right, forgive me. It ain't working.
Let me clarify what I always believed to be the reason that Layla Wills would demand all email correspondences I may have had at the time regarding the murder of TC Islam, to give the audience a proper perspective of what I believe was a setup against me by Layla Wills and the affiliate of Layla Wills, or instigated by her affiliate. I must include my co-defendant in the civil case against me, California native and YouTube content creator Kevin Gillespie, or Kev Gills, of YouTube channels Coffee and Kush TV and Kevrel University. Before we speak on Kevin Gillespie, as many of you all who have watched the Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC YouTube channel over the years may know, this platform started a movement in 2017 using infoactivism on my YouTube platforms to find the whereabouts of what was reported to be a young Spanish or Latino teenage boy that stabbed Afrika Bambaataa and his manager Ahmed Henderson of the Universal Zulu Nation in the New York apartment in 2013. The reason for the stabbing of Afrika Bambaataa and manager Ahmed Henderson was for what was alleged to be a statutory sexual assault of a minor committed by Afrika Bambaataa at the time, as reported first by Straight Stumpkin magazine writer Colorado-based Khalil Amani in the article, Afrika Bambaataa, Gay and Date Raping?
A gay man date raping somebody, not a pederast raping a younger boy.
Now, in light of my movement, the key culprit to the question of what happened to that boy from my research came from Hassan Poppy Campbell, the alleged victim, who I believe was a co-conspirator and who also claimed that he was given a photo of the identity of the teen victim of statutory sexual misconduct with a hit order to murder the teen for Afrika Bambaataa on behalf of Zulu Warriors Security Company.
After Bam got out of the hospital, to figure out what really happened, and he gave me the picture of a light-skinned Puerto Rican little boy that looked just like me as a kid. And he gave me that picture because I was going to be the one who killed that boy for Afrika Bambaataa.
Y'all heard him? Did that sound like Hassan Camel? That wasn't no pitch voice. That's what he said out of his own mouth on his own YouTube channel. But nobody in the community act like they heard him. They got 2 ears, 2 eyes, but they didn't see no evil, hear no evil, and therefore they won't speak no evil.
Back to Kevin Gillespie and the connection to the Layla Wills civil case against Kevin and myself. My first interaction with Layla Wills was an email I sent to her inquiring about if she was aware that Hassan Poppy Campbell, who was set to be a star witness in her documentary Trapped in a Culture, has conflicting statements on being a victim of Afrika Bambaataa as opposed to what I believed was a willing participant, willing not only to cover up criminal activity for the Universal Zulu Nation, but even willing to murder for the nation as it related to minor victims of Afrika Bambaataa's sexual misconduct.
So when Layla put that Trapped in the Culture of First Gay Family documentary out, Hassan Camel, from what I told her, probably took a life for Bambaataa, but she still put that movie out there and got plenty of dollars.
To my surprise, Layla Wills responded to me and informed me that nothing that I inquired about to her was something that she was already aware of and that she was not interested in speaking to me about her documentary or for research purposes.
You know, I didn't ask to be in a documentary, I had to be interviewed.
Following my email to Layla Wills, I went about the business of my movement for the whereabouts of the 2013 victim and informing the public of the dialogue I had with Layla Wills, and this is when things began to turn for the worst as it relates to Layla Wills and the connection to Kevin Gillespie. First, to combat my commentary on Hassan Poppy Campbell and my speaking on YouTube platforms about Hassan Campbell and the missing 2013 victim, Layla Wills started doing interviews on YouTube with the likes of channels like Sonetter TV. Layla Wills would further go on to other platforms, particularly the Star Report hosted by Troy Star Torrain, as Star was claiming to be in support of the Trapped in the Culture documentary, having advocated for Ronald B. Stinger Savage and Hassan Poppy Campbell for coming out against Afrika Bambaataa in the Zulu Nation as victims of his sexual misconduct in 2015 and 2016.
So as you can see, things got very tricky, y'all. Things got very tricky when I told her about her son Camel not being a victim, but being the opposite of a victim, a co-conspirator. And she already had put her money in the documentary. She didn't want to hear that. I already know the stuff that's been going on and what didn't happen. You ain't been here before me. I know everything. So basically, she was telling me, I know her son was given a picture to kill the boy and everything. I don't care about the boy. And I knew she knew because Troy Star Terrain asked the question, what happened to the boy before her son and I? They knew.
The attacks against me and my platform started off as light jabs indirectly against me and my chat moderators, calling us 85ers or people who lack intelligence, and my chat room moderators as chat rats. I knew the attacks were on me and my movement, as nobody else at the time was in opposition to Hassan Campbell online, to the extent my movement was spreading, and I would later be made correct when the false civil case was brought against me, and she included the screen names of my chat moderators who had nothing to do with her false claims of stalking whatsoever at the time.
So the moderators was stalking too? Nah, she just didn't want people speak on her alleged murder of TC Islam or giving up the evidence of where he stayed so a Zulu can fly from New York to Atlanta and take his life.
Layla Wills would further go on to speak about how the funding for her documentary Trapped in a Culture was all finances by her personally, and even made innuendo threats that for her money invested, she would be willing to do bodily harm to content creators.
Yeah. She told Sonetta, she said, nah, I wouldn't get you killed for that. But if you mess with my money, I'll get you killed for that. And I was messing with her money. So what you think? You think she would have killed me for that little money?
The bodily harm Layla Wills said she was willing to do with any who jeopardize her investment involved using people's addresses to have someone like Hassan Poppy Campbell pay them a visit. The address games played online at that time was where she threatened to give the address of the person home Sonetta TV used to do her interview. The person YouTuber Jabari had allowed Sonetta TV to use his home as a studio, and this is where things align with TC Islam, Kevin Gillespie, and myself.
We spoke about it. And when they heard it, they said, oh, doo-doo. The Vatican City has the information. I'm the Vatican City. That's what they was calling.
Following Layla Wills' interview on Sonetta TV, I began to do interviews on YouTube channels such as YouTube Creator 6 Dynasty, Tommy Sotomayor, and Kev Gills discussing the documentary and the threats made, and also how the threats made were very similar to what was claimed led to the murder of TC Islam. Following his last interview with Layla Wills for the documentary Trapped in a Culture, Layla Wills was the first to slander my platform and me when she took a photo of Kevin Gills and me and posted it on Facebook, claiming not only that she was not worried about us but how we were actually promoting her coming documentary. The slander that occurred was in the comments in the post. She alleged that I was a supporter of adults who molest minors or a supporter of underage sexual assault of minors. The slander was so blatant, she doubled down answering the question about what she meant, and she responded that I was no doubt in league with or in support of pedophilia.
So, Layla Wills started a blatant lie, which I will call slander. Once again, I'm a defendant. I'm not a aggressive person. I'm not going after nobody for that right now. But when we get in court and I have to defend myself,
now here is where the plot gets thick and what I believe changed Layla Wills from making posts about Kev Gills and me and acknowledging first that she did not see me or him as a threat, and then pulling an about face to put false charges on Kevin Gills and me. The turning point I believe that made Layla Wills place a false civil stalking no contact order against Kev Gills and me is none other than the nationally known federal informant and witness security protection recipient Khalil Amani. Now why would I blame Khalil Amani for activating Layla Wills to place false charges against Kev Gills and me? The answer is a video made by Khalil Amani where he warned Layla Wills that her actions online involving threats of harm using addresses of individuals in unison with threats being made by Hassan Poppy Campbell were grounds to have her and Hassan Campbell the subject of a racketeering influence corrupt organization investigation. Yes, it was Khalil Amani online as a known informant claiming knowledge of the laws of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and with ties to the U.S. Marshal Service Witness Protection Program who was placing fear of being in a criminal enterprise with Hassan Campbell onto Layla Wills. The reason I believe the false claims against me was all strategic is following a dropping of the false criminal charges placed on me by the District Attorney's Office of Cook County at the behest of Layla Wills. She dropped the now easily defeated civil charges also falsely placed on me and Khalil Amani, the snitch and informant. He has made a video letting the world know that Layla Wills' whole case against me was strategic and that the goal was not to beat me in court for anything I did but instead to cause me harm by having me have to go back and forth from Arkansas to Chicago and burden my family.
Y'all want to see that video? Can I get a guess in the side chat? Y'all know I'm going to show it anyway, right? Let's go get it. Let me get on YouTube and find it right quick. Let me see if I can get it like this. Lord Rodney Clark, Israel Doctrine. If y'all don't know, that's Khalil Money government name, Lord Rodney Clark. So I'm pulling it up now. Do I got it on the screen? Here we go, right here.
Let me say this to you, Izzy. You're making videos about Layla Wills. I think you're a day late and $1 short, my nigga. I said you making videos trying to go at Layla Wills. I think you're a day late and $1 short, nigga. Because Layla Wills, in all actuality, played the fuck out of you, nigga. She played you like a violin. She did a goddamn Beethoven's Fifth on your ass. She was Stravinsky. She was Bach and Rachmaninoff.
At this point, remember, I just played what he said DJ K. Slay was a child trafficker. And he said, why would I come out and say that? Remember, he said I was stalking her, harassing her, stalking her. But then he come out and say her lawsuit was strategic. And he said all the other things. He's a snitch. He'll snitch on the people that he worked with.
She played you like a violin, nigga. Oh yeah, she did. I hear you talking about how you made her back down or you won the case. No, nigga. You didn't win the case in Chicago against Miss Layla Wills. It was all strategic, fuck nigga. She made you spend money that you didn't have. She made you go up and down from Park in Arkansas to Chicago, Illinois, back and forth, all through the winter. She had you doing that shit for a year. She made you have to.
So as you can see, anything I'm saying in the paperwork, I'm showing. So you can't say he lying. I'm coming with the receipts. You don't want to hear the receipts because you don't want to hear the truth. That there's a boy probably out there dead and nobody cares about it but me and my affiliates. The people that join my Facebook group and other people that have a line with me.
TC Islam's murder has way more ramifications than just being used in a civil case against me, but also, as Hassan Campbell has made claims, that Afrika Bambaataa, Ahmed Henderson, and him were co-defendants in the unsolved murder. Hassan Campbell also stated in the public that he spoke to TC Islam the night before his murder, and it should be noted that TC Islam was said to be hiding in Atlanta from the Universal Zulu Nation for previous death threats before he was murdered in Atlanta. Hassan Campbell, in an interview with Murder Master Show Music Show, Hassan Campbell not only stated that TC Islam told him the night before his murder that he was given Afrika Bambaataa 3 days to speak to him, or that he was going to go public with all the knowledge he had on Afrika Bambaataa as it related to sexual deviance with not only minors, but with known famous hip-hop artist. Hassan Campbell would admit that he was upset with TC Islam, alleging that he felt that TC Islam was more worried about making amends with Afrika Bambaataa and the Universal Zulu Nation as opposed to truly wanting justice for what it was being alleged that Afrika Bambaataa was doing.
You hear that? TC Islam told him, hey, time is running out. Hassan argued with him the night before he was murdered. Another thing about that Murder Master Music or whatever the name of that show is, Hassan said he would go to Atlanta and put some knots on Atlanta native head. meaning it was nothing to grab a plane, go down to Atlanta and put his hands, gun, knife, or whatever TC was murdered with, on a person and go back to New York City. And who knew that he went out that night and committed what he did? Because he was already telling people, I'm a murderer. I didn't murder people before. What it sounds like to me is that there's a skilled organization out there by the name of the Zulu Nation that get people murdered. They may want to come to Arkansas and try to do something to me, but it ain't that easy, my Zulus. It ain't that easy, my Bloods, because Wack 100 is a part of this too. Khalil Money like to say he's Khalil Money 100. And he threatened Kevin Gillespie with Wack 100. Same way Wack 100 Big Homie threatened Kevin Gillespie with this and that. It sounds like it's an organization out there, the gay mafia or whatever, that's killing people.
Something that stood out in Hassan Campbell's interview about his conversation with TC Islam the night before Islam was murdered is that he claimed he personally was not afraid of any death threats made towards him for his own coming out against Afrika Bambaataa. I say that the statement of no fear made by Hassan Campbell stood out as odd because he would later allege that his whole staying on YouTube as a content creator instead of seeking mental help for his trauma as an alleged victim of Afrika Bambaataa was due to a hit order said to be made against him by the Universal Zulu Nation member, the now also deceased Queen Pepsi. Layla Wills was the last interview that TC Islam did to expose Afrika Bambaataa and the Universal Zulu Nation for being involved with allegations of sex trafficking, extortion, murders, and the cover-ups for over 40 years as the Godfather and Amen-Ra of hip-hop.
Now, as you heard Khalil Money say, which DJ K. Slade was a member of the Black Spades and the Zulus, was sex trafficking. Coercion implicated because the victim, whether if you move them or not, you stop them from doing what they wanted to do. You coerce them to stay there and get sexually abused by their abusers. And DJ K. Slade was a part of that, so you know it was going on. You know it was going on. So let's see what we're going to pick this up. I'm doing too much. Forgive me, people. Getting overzealous. Getting overzealous.
TC Islam, the fourth son of the Amen-Ra of hip-hop, as reported in Jungle Dub House Online, was a member of hip-hop's first family. The term Amen-Ra as an Egyptian god is pivotal, as over the years, I have spoken on my platform with people like Prince York, the son of the currently incarcerated Malachi Z. York. I recently uploaded some telephone audio of me and Prince York that is sure to entertain, so check that out. I have spoken much on Neo-Pagan religion and the ties to the Nuwaubian and Zulu Kemetic Moors. The Amen-Ra connection is a point to make here, as it was members of the conscious community's Amen-Ra Squad, affiliate of the House of Consciousness in Sonnetter TV, who called me informing me that Layla Wills was an associate. The call I received from the Amen-Ra founder was asking me to lay off of speaking about Layla Wills, even though it was her who slandered Kev Gills and me on her Facebook page, and then it was her who dragged Kev Gills and me into a false civil court case and got me arrested on false criminal charges. Throughout the back and forth online, star Troy Torrain made statements that Layla Wills was not only a Panther Cub or the daughter of Black Panthers in Chicago, but also that she had many relatives who are active members of the street organization O Block. Even if what Star says is true or not about the O Block ties to Layla Wills, I always believed that the strategic lawsuit against public participation done towards me by Layla Wills was to have me placed in the general population of the Cook County Correctional Facility in Chicago. I believe that if my family did not bail me out, it would have been very easy to have O Block, Nation of Islam, or Black Panther affiliate harm me, or even worse, murder me in that jail, or in the least have me set up by prison guards to never come home on more trumped up charges.
I believe they were trying to take my life away. Thank you, Lord God of Israel. Because they weren't playing no games with me. It was strategic.
I know this episode runs deep, but my claims are not far-fetched, as after I was acquitted of the criminal charges and had the civil charges withdrawn, I had a call online while doing a show on YouTube where the caller alleged that he was an actual officer of the court who was present during my appearances in Chicago in the false civil case placed by Layla Wills on me. I beat the false criminal and civil charges on me only by the mercy and the grace of the Lord God of Israel, help from my family, and a few brothers and sisters in Christ who made sure I survived all of this.
Yes, thanks to my brother who was there to witness it all.
Sadly, TC Islam was not as fortunate to escape the fate that he met while fleeing Universal Zulu Nation as reported, and thinking that he would be safe while in Atlanta. TC Islam's murder was reported in the Canada Noisy Vice article by Dave Wedge, the writer who interviewed Ronald B. Stringer Savage and Hassan Poppy Campbell about the young teen who stabbed Afrika Bambaataa and Ahmed Henderson. Some excerpts from the Dave Wedge article on TC Islam reads as follows. Less than a month before the 51-year-old rapper was gunned down on an Atlanta street this June, he gave a chilling interview to a documentary filmmaker in which he said he feared for his life. Specifically, he alleged he'd been receiving threats from members and affiliate of the Zulu Nation, the hip-hop and African-American advocacy organization founded in the 1970s by pioneer Afrika Bambaataa. At the time, Chicago-based filmmaker Layla Wills was finishing up a forthcoming documentary called Trapped in a Culture, which details sexual abuse allegations against Bambaataa. Islam, whose real name was Tony Purnell Bell, told Wills he received multiple threats from members of the Zulu Nation after stepping down from the organization in April 2016 and speaking out against its founder.
Who would know it that DJ K. Slate died in April? April is my birth month, and a lot of stuff was taking place in April, which is the beginning of the year, if y'all didn't know. God's year.
Though TC Islam was taken while claiming to be fleeing for his life, TC Islam's death, like many other murders of influential figures in hip-hop, may be forever shrouded in mystery of whether his murder was coincidental or if it was part of a more desperate plot to clear Afrika Bambaataa's name, as it was alleged by Hassan Campbell, that Mickey Benson, Ahmed Henderson, Stanley Bell Islam and others were desperate and had to clear Afrika Bambaataa's name while on a telephone conference with star Troy Torain, who was about to break the story to the public of Afrika Bambaataa being involved in pederasty. As we close this episode 2 of Murder Doctrine, featuring the death of TC Islam, we prepare the audience for our next episode, which all ties together with episodes 1 and 2, as we will be discussing the murder doctrine of rapper XXXTentacion. The 6 degrees of separation of the next episode is something you all do not want to miss, as we will show how the murder of XXXTentacion ties to this platform, and story of the missing teen alleged stab Afrika Bambaataa and his manager Ahmed Henderson, and the ties of XXXTentacion to the nationally known informant Khalil Ahmad, and how his death was used to attack me on my platform.
Yes. Somebody's got some. Maybe they'll tell you about it before I tell you about it. So I'm dictating a lot of stuff. By speaking, I believe a lot of people want to get out here and tell their story about my story. Because this is my life that I'm talking about. These are incidents that I was seeing. So sue me if you want to. I'm ready to go to court. Remember, I'm a defendant, not an offensive player. I'm a defensive player.
If you all like this content, hit the like button, share this video, hit the notification for alerts, become a member, and get ready for the release of Murder Doctrine Episode 2, which discusses the death of TC Islam of the Universal Zulu Nation.
DJ Kay Slade was a child trafficker. Human trafficking is a crime against a person because of the violation of the victim's right of movement through coercion and because of their commercial exploitation. Human trafficking is the trade in people, especially women and children, and does not necessarily involve movement of the person from one place to another. Okay.
Y'all could call me a rat, but let's make something clear. If I was a rat, Bam and Ahmed would already be in jail, and they know that.
Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. It's your boy, Carl Albert Davis, and the day's title was Murder Doctrine, Time to Kill. Now, if y'all don't know, the Bible speaks on the time to kill. It lets you know that it's a time for everything under the earth. It's a time for everything under the earth. I want to read the verse. I'm finna pull it up and read that verse so y'all will know. We're in Ecclesiastes 3, 2 through 8. So it say 2, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, a time to loose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time to war and a time of peace. There's a time and a season for everything under the sun. So, the reason I was 5 minutes early is because I want to address a bitch ass nigga for trying to speak on me and bastardize what I say. Now, he's such a righteous man. He don't like his shit bastardized, as he likes to say. Well, they bastardized my shit and crying like a little bitch and shit, but he come out here, slander, lie, and bastardize other people's shit. So let's deal with this. Piercy is going to go to prison. What man said he wants to know what it feels like to unalive another man before he died? He said that. Bitch ass nigga lying on me. As I said in my last video, I don't use the term unalive. I say kill and murder. Because I speak English, and these are the most heard of English words I done heard used with the term kill and murder. I know shit about unalive. That's what educated niggas didn't have their ass ran up in say. He's one of those niggas. He's an educated nigga, didn't have his ass ran up in, and then he figured, I'm an educated nigga that got my ass ran up in. I'm a fucking high school dropout that can't read, can't spell none of that. What the fuck I'm using unalive for? As I said before, I challenge his bitch ass to go find where I said it is. So you can make me some money, my nigga. Now, like I said, I just read y'all the scriptures where it said it's a time and season for everything under the earth. There's a time to kill, and there's an understanding behind it. That's why I can speak like that and not feel so clearly God, Jesus, the Bible, and his Hebrew Israelite faith has no not convicted his carnal desires for hurting people, and neither has he been renewed in the spirit of the mind. What you hear me say I'm an Israelite at? All you done never heard me say is I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Slanderous bitch ass nigga. Slender get your ass murdered. You know that, right? Like he told her son Camel. What he like to say? What term he was like to use? Hypothetically this and that. Slender can get your bitch ass murdered. You know that, right? That's a big offense in the Bible, to go out and slander a nigga and try to murder his name and murder his character and do the shit that you doing. Because whatever you doing it for is to hurt me and try to kill me out here in these YouTube streets. And whatever you try to do to me by slandering me, the Bible said your ass can get it for doing it. You want to argue about it? You want to write on your wall about it? Because you out here slandering, and that shit can get you murdered, killed, taken off this motherfucking earth. Do you hear me say unalive? No, nigga, because I don't use the fucking term. So stop lying on me. Like I said, I wanted to address your ass because I've been hype about this shit that you're doing. You doing basic COINTELPRO shit where you get out here and try to twist what another nigga say. You a part of the racist fucking system that just got that guy killed on that motherfucking Utah stage. Cause hate and bullshit and lies and slanders and shit and that homosexual shit that you into. That's why that man was killed, because motherfuckers like you, the YouTube banter and all that shit. Who get on YouTube to do banter? This is a business platform, my nigga. And your business is to slander and try to defeat me and destroy my business. Because you ain't got shit to do. I don't give a fuck how many family members you post up. You don't care about them bitches, and them bitches don't care about you. Or you will be spending time with them hoe ass niggas, and they will be spending time with your hoe ass. Just because you take a picture, Gorilla and all them already showed that you don't spend no time with them children and all them shit. Them motherfuckers don't stay at your house. Once upon a time, they might have stayed there. Prove it, nigga. You gotta travel across the motherfucking country to see them little bitch-ass grandchildren. And I ain't got no children. You want to talk about my nieces and my nephews, my grandnieces and my grandnephews? Once again, like I said, they got family. And if you fuck with them, Their parents' job is to protect them. And if they protect them, nigga, don't cry like a bitch. Because you're trying to start some shit that you are not capable of finishing. And like I said, far as I'm concerned, we can have Phil and McCoy this shit. And when I have children, they can be after your motherfucking children. This shit ain't never gotta stop. This shit can go on for generations until your generation die or my generation die, my nigga. This YouTube battle and all this shit you doing. Cause the bitch ass nigga like you deserve death, bitch. And I ain't running from the conversation. Like I said, you do the wrong motherfucking thing, and I'm gonna be in court saying, yeah, I killed that motherfucker. He did this, and he deserved to die. That's a righteous kill. That motherfucker do it, I get his ass life and murder his motherfucking ass again. Because I'm a man. Whatever I do, it's gonna be righteous. So a righteous kill, what problem you got with that? I bet you if I come to your motherfucking house and kick your door down, you will murder me right now, wouldn't you? That's a righteous murder, ignorant motherfucker. You give a fuck how many dicks been up your ass and everything. You ain't learned shit in school, nigga. Learn how to. Used to Bill Clinton ass nigga. That's why you joined that goddamn fraternity. But this is what happened when a man doesn't invest in life, a wife, children, education, career. Because you want to stay on the earth. Oh, look, your kingdom and where your heart at is where your shit at. You done put all that shit together to stay here on earth. You don't give a fuck about God because you say God got your wife taken away from you, your children, and all that shit with the Yahweh ben Yahweh shit. You gave up on life and when invested in this shit, and you think this shit life. This shit ain't life. But yes, I'm here addressing this bitch nigga, and he ain't gonna address it back. He got plenty of wall to write some shit, as you can see. He's been writing shit about me because I'm his motherfucking life. He can't do shit without me. I'm surprised he left me out this shit. Oh, there you go. People like Wendella and Carl, whoever never raised children, nigga, I done raised plenty of children. What the fuck you talking about? I've been raising babies since I've been in this world. Why? Because I've been had nieces and nephews since I've been in this world, stupid motherfucker. Just because you don't see me with pictures of their ass all over, because that's all you motherfuckers want to do is get my family pictures and post them all over the internet because y'all stalking ass bitches. Y'all heard I had a girlfriend and went stalked the girl, went made a motherfucking bogus ass video and all that shit. Cause you motherfuckers ain't got shit to do in life but to chase up behind me. I guess the American government paying you hoes money. Cause I don't see no other reason why you would. Anybody got a reason why these bitch ass niggas will be chasing up behind me? A guy that can't read, can't write, and can't do nothing, but their whole life is centered around what I do. I'm a nobody, but their life is centered around what I do. Meaning I'm somebody to them, though they nobodies to me. This is pitiful ass shit. And it's sad that these bitch ass niggas in YouTube don't take the time and look at it and talk. Charleston White, if Charleston White was beefing with a motherfucker over the internet like this, they'd be all up that nigga ass. But Charleston White is a clone of me. But that's why y'all don't know about me, because these bitch ass niggas chase up behind me and try to destroy me on YouTube so I won't be Charleston White. So Charleston White can walk around and clone me and do what I do. I call the feds on YouTube. This nigga call the cops. I tell y'all, Whack 100 work for the feds because he fucking with this federal agent, Charleston White, tell y'all the same damn thing. And I ain't got time to go through all the other shit. All I need to show you is one or two things where the nigga done clone me, and that's my clone. But they'll get Charleston White money to do shit and everything that they won't give me because they know I ain't no motherfucker that can be bought and just do any damn thing. It's a goddamn shame. But Khalil, I do not use the term unalive. I use kill and murder. You do something to me, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna unalive you. I'm gonna say I kill your motherfucking ass. You do it again and see if your bitch ass don't get murdered. See, that's how I talk. Regular slang, regular Negro conversation. You bitch ass niggas on YouTube that's homosexual and shit, say that shit. But I'm opening up the conversation for a conversation. I want to hear what people got to say about this kill, murder, or unalive, if y'all like to use that terminology and shit. I'm finna put the link in the side chat for people to come in if they want to come in. And I'm gonna put this banner up. Therefore, y'all can come in and talk and everything, but you won't be showing your dick and your pussy and your titties and all that shit on my show. So we're gonna put that up. The link is up. And we're gonna hate this. We're gonna wait to see what happens. I'm over here doing my murder doctrine. I'm doing my 5K1 shit soon. Everything else. What's the matter? Y'all afraid now? Last week it was all good. Just a week ago it was all good. Y'all wanted the nigga coming in the side chat. Come outside. I'm outside and all that shit. Threatening my life and shit. Nigga, you don't think I'm gonna talk about murdering the motherfucker with niggas in my chat talking shit to me about taking my life? You's a goddamn fool. I'm not Malcolm X nor Martin Luther King to let you motherfuckers just take my life, and I ain't gonna say shit. Ooh. No, I'm murdering and killing because I refuse to let you bitch ass niggas take my life. Now bring your ass in the room and talk about it if you want to talk about it. Or stay your bitch ass off your wall talking about it. But I ain't got time to waste on these bitch ass niggas. No, it's a time to kill. And if you do the wrong thing and you sin unto death and death come see your motherfucking ass, you deserve everything you gonna get.
J.K. Slade was a child trafficker. Human trafficking is a crime against the person because of the violation of the victim's right of movement through coercion and because of their commercial exploitation. Human trafficking is the trade in people, especially women and children, and does not necessarily involve movement of the person from one place to another. Okay.
Y'all can call me a rat, but let's make something clear. If I was a rat, Bam and Ahmed would already be in jail, and they know that.
Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. And tonight's show is the first show in our series, and the title of it is Murder Doctrine Uncovers Hidden Facts That Will Blow Your Mind. So we're here to blow your mind, people. Without any hesitation, we're going to get right into the show. We're going to get right into the show. Boom. There go the show, people. Now I'm going to have the computer read, and then I'm going to do some commentary. So.
Murder Doctrine Episode 1 Tupac Shakur Illuminati Edition. Welcome to Episode 1 of Israel Doctrine Entertainment, LLC's new hip-hop series titled Murder Doctrine. For the new listeners and some of the longtime subscribers to the channel, it is important that you all be given a brief background on the inspiration for this series, which Episode 1 will discuss the most influential hip-hop artist to the Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC brand and to many hip-hoppers, none other than Tupac Shakur.
So as y'all know, I'm a big Tupac fan. And full of Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC, the best rapper I've ever known. I've been listening to this guy ever since Tupacalypse Now, back in 91. I remember going to the liquor store, buying a $5 cassette. It was bootleg of Tupac Shakur. Trap was the first song that I heard because a brother in town by the name of Boogie used to sing it, but we're gonna keep going.
Disclaimer: the Murder Doctrine series is not to glorify murder on any level, but instead to show how murder, not to be confused with what the Bible teaches us all, is a righteous kill, has plagued the hip-hop industry since its inception.
So, disclaimer put up. I got to put a disclaimer up because anything I say is misconstrued. It's turned against me. It's a lie made up against me. I can say I feel good today. They'll say he want to kill himself. He want to do self-infliction and blah, blah, blah. This is what they do out here on YouTube. The informers, the counterintelligent, the COINTELPRO people. And if y'all know who I'm talking about, and those that listen enough know who I'm talking about. We'll deal with it though.
Murder Doctrine will be explaining the many interwoven subjects that align the untimely deaths of so many of the influencers in hip-hop, as well as pose as a time capsule in the current for future look-backs into the state of what we all know to be hip-hop.
So we got to look into this stuff, people. We got to look into this. We got to look into this stuff. Yeah. We got to look into this stuff. Let's get it back on the screen. Let's get it back on the screen. So,
The Murder Doctrine series will not be to slander any individuals mentioned, but will from time to time be reflective of what the church I founded terms hip-hop, which we created an acronym for, which is Hear Israel People Have Open Prophecies.
No slander. Not like they slandering me, but we're not going to try to get into my personal little YouTube beefs and stuff with the government and those that work for the government. Under Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and all of them.
In light of prophecy, I find it interesting that the day after we announced the coming of this series and our other series, the 5K1 series, that a political assassination occurred in Utah against conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
I don't see it as no coincidence. As soon as I announced it, I seen the actions of those that are afraid of me and what I might say and what I might do, because they don't know what I might say and what I might do. They like, that nigga is unstable.
We find that political assassinations and assassination attempts has been a recurring theme in American politics since the attempted assassination last year in 2024 of the now 47th President Donald J. Trump while he gave a speech in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's a political act that they do, and I am a political person. Apolitical. I'm apolitical. If you didn't know.
Episode 1 of Murder Doctrine speaks about Tupac Amaru Shakur, born Lassane Parish, Crooks, June 16th, 1971, September 13th, 1996, also known by his stage names Tupac and Machiavelli.
Same birthday as my second nephew, who's hit by a car and in the ground now, passed away. But every time I hear about that September the 13th, I think about my nephew.
Tupac, as many know, was an American rapper and actor. He is regarded as one of the greatest rappers of all time, one of the most influential musical artists of the 20th century, and a prominent political activist for Black America.
That's the key to it. He was a political activist. After he died, who took up his political mantle and everything? Sean Puffy Combs. He started messing with politics and voter die and all that type of stuff. And when you're dealing with politics, they will try to take you out. But don't forget, I'm apolitical.
Tupac, following his murder and untimely death on September 13, 1996, has been an urban legend as a hip-hop artist. Tupac is someone who would turn to political activism early in his career, born in New York City, being the son of two Black Panthers, and raised by his mother, Afeni Shakur. Tupac later relocated with his mother to the San Francisco Bay Area in 1988. His debut album, Tupacalypse Now, 1991, cemented him as a central figure in West Coast hip-hop for his political rap lyrics. Alongside his solo career, Shakur formed the group Thug Life and collaborated with artists like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and The Outlaws.
Let's not forget Baltimore now, before he made it to Marine City. Jada Pinkett Smith, all of those things.
Tupac, who was signed to the California-based Death Row Records at the time under its founder and CEO Marion Hugh Suge Knight Jr., also was infamous for claiming Piru Bloods.
Which is arguable because you got Harry O. But for as hip-hop history go, some will say it's Suge Knight, or what did it say on the back of Machiavelli? Simon, right? But we ain't gonna get into all that. We ain't gonna get into all that.
It should be noted that our sister series, which will be launching to complement the series titled 5K1 series, will show how my platform has graced the presence of the digital pit boss, who is the big homie to the little homie of Suge Knight, the now well-known hip-hop manager Wack 100.
So if you didn't know, Digital Pit Boss, who used to be on this channel with me, is the big homie to Wack 100, who used to be on the Suge Knight and Death Row Records and everything. And I could start some mess and talk about how Pop was doing what he was doing and why, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Tupac's influence was so widespread and his murder so devastating to the hip-hop culture that, akin to Elvis Presley, many have claimed to have sighted Tupac still alive after his death.
Which I believe Pop is still alive. Never seen him, but I believe he's still alive. I believe he's still alive. I always believed that he was still alive. Even when I was cutting my head and screaming Tupac and fighting and defending them.
Many theories of his death have been ongoing in the current, as an individual, Dwayne Keith D. Davis, was recently charged with Tupac Shakur's murder.
And y'all know I'm a Davis. Carl Albert Davis is my government name.
Due to the influence Tupac had on Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC, he inspired me to make my own version of his now infamous Thug Life, which I have placed on many videos online, and with my terming it the hate you give little Israel fucks everybody.
Which the government informant said he didn't like that. But as being a little Israelite and receiving all the hate that I received, people say, well, he crazy now, he talking murder and everything. Now, I'm a man that believes in peace with everybody. That's the Bible say. You got to remember, first, I'm a Bible person. I follow the tenets of the Bible as they're written in the Bible. Live in peace with all men. But the Bible also said there's a time and season for everything. There's a time to hug, embrace, do all of that. But there's also a time to kill. A time to kill. If you ever seen the movie, there's a time to kill. And when it talks about that time, it talks about a righteous killing. Because if a man do some harm to your child, whether if it's a boy or girl, in which we know men do things to children, boys and girls, that's a time to kill. That's the time to take a life. You do wrong by allowing them to keep breathing where they can do it again. And the Lord even tell you, take them off the earth. You want to stop sin? Which you can stop sin. Go kill them. There's a time to kill. And I know in my heart's heart when it's a time to have peace and when it's a time to kill. And I ain't begging nobody for peace. I'm like Medea. I'm going to do what my eldest brother told me. If you're afraid, go buy some courage and stand like a man when you got courage in your hand. I don't believe in killing, but people do sign their own death certificate. And as I stated before and will state again on this live, I want to take somebody out before I leave this earth. And somebody going to ask for it. And I'm going to give it to them righteously. And then I'm going to go before the judge and say, well, he did this and he did that. That's why he did. Put me in jail or whatever you think your job is, because the Lord God of Israel make the judge. And he put in their heart what they should and shouldn't do.
Tupac, like many other political assassinations in America, seems to be an ongoing unsolved murder and a mystery as to who actually conspired with Dwayne Davis to murder him.
Who conspired with him, people?
Many have theories as to what sparked the now infamous East Coast and West Coast beef that led to the death of Tupac, as well as New York Bad Boy Records artist Christopher Wallace, known as the Notorious B.I.G., but I would like to insert a few excerpts from a recent article posted by the USA Today titled "Man Charged in Tupac Shakur's Death Claims Sean Diddy Combs Put Out $1 million Hit on September 7th, 2025. If the viewers would like to read the article in full, I will place
it in the bottom of this video.
If the viewers would like to read the article in full, I will place the link to it in below this video, or you all can search by title and find it online for your own reading. Just to give a brief summary of the article for this episode, the article is summarized as follows. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, charged with Tupac Shakur's murder, alleged Sean Diddy Combs offered a $1 million bounty for Shakur in Suge Knight. Recent civil lawsuits against Combs include new allegations of his involvement in Shakur's 1996 murder, which he has repeatedly denied. Davis, the only person charged in the killing, is awaiting trial and is the only living person from the car involved in the drive-by shooting.
The only living person, meaning the other people or suspects are dead.
It is important that we analyze the allegations that the murder of Tupac was a conspiracy carried out by numerous factions, as court records have reflected informants claiming that the now infamous Sean P. Diddy Combs was potentially involved with the murder of Shakur, as expressed in civil court filings. I want to clearly express that at this time, the government has not officially charged Sean Combs as a co-conspirator, but the allegations have been made in police reports and civil court documents, as I expressed and is outlined in the article. Everyone who is aware of the beef between Sean Combs, artist Christopher Wallace of Bad Boy Entertainment, and Tupac Shakur of Death Row Records is aware that an ongoing feud was on public display prior to Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace's death between Bad Boy and Death Row.
We all know that. East Coast, West Coast. East Coast killer, West Coast killer.
Many have made accusations that members of the LAPD, local gangs, and the music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was all involved with the death of Tupac Shakur, and that the build-up to Tupac's murder was a result to a now infamous shooting of Shakur at New York City Quad Studios prior to his actual murder in Las Vegas.
Yes, that Quad City thing, though, it's going to be part 2 of our show, or part 1 of the 5K1.
Now I want to make a connection for the audience of allegations that many may not be aware of that has been related to the actual build-up to the shooting at Quad Studios, and what will be relevant to our next episode of Murder Doctrine, which will be Murder Doctrine Part 2, The Death of TC Islam.
The death of TC Islam. Why you bringing that up, Carl? Oh, TC Islam was in my paperwork. My slanderous paperwork that Khalil Money keeps saying he was stalking that woman. And in that paperwork, it don't say nothing about stalking. It's saying, I want all the information on TC Islam and what this guy has been researching, which is going to come up in part 2.
It is important to give a little background to why our next episode will be about the murder of TC Islam and how there is a potential connection to the Quad Studios shooting of Tupac as alleged by members of the Universal Zulu Nation, which is also tied to an interview Tupac Shakur did with the also now deceased TC Islam. As many of you all who have watched the Israel Doctrine Entertainment LLC YouTube channel over the years may know, This platform started a movement in 2017 using infoactivism to find the whereabouts of what was reported to be a young Spanish or Latino teenage boy to stab Afrika Bambaataa and his manager Ahmed Henderson of the Universal Zulu Nation in the New York apartment in 2013. The allegations of the stabbing of Afrika Bambaataa and Ahmed Henderson was after what reports alleged to have been a statutory sexual assault done on what was said to be a young teen by Afrika Bambaataa. The reports of the young teen's sexual assault at the time were first reported by the Colorado-based author, hip-hop journalist, and nationally known federal witness protection informant Khalil Amani.
The guy that's still stalking me to this day. His website is down, but he used to have so many articles about me. Everything in that man's life revolves around me. Because I believe he believed me to be a black messiah. If you ask me, I think that's his problem. He think I'm a black messiah and that I'm a radical, crazy guy that would do some stuff and everything. He think I'm Yahweh ben Yahweh because he having flashbacks. But let's keep going on with the article and the conversation, which keeps my head on a proper swivel.
Khalil Amani was informed of the stabbing and the alleged statutory sexual assault of the teenage boy by what Khalil Amani called his hip-hop boss at the time, the now deceased New York DJ Kay Slay, as Khalil Amani was a writer for DJ Kay Slay's Straight Stuntin magazine in the year 2013.
And if you didn't know that beginning of this show, when you hear DJ K was a child trafficker, and then he read what a trafficker was, that's Khalil Amani's voice. Because Khalil Amani is the one that said DJ Kay Slay was a child trafficker. Carl Albert Davis didn't say it. He say, well, ain't no audio or whatever. There go the audio right there in the front of the thing. Stop lying, Khalil.
DJ Kay Slay, who was a former member of the New York City Black Spades and Universal Zulu Nation at the time of 2013, was an insider who was alerted to the incident and decided to inform his writer Khalil Amani to publish an article at his behest titled, Afrika Bambaataa Gay and Date Raping?
Why? Because right after the boy stabbed Bambaataa, DJ Kay Slay knew. How did he know? Because the young man may have called. Now, I can't prove none of this. These are all allegations from my research. But if somebody feel froggish and want to jump out and put a lawsuit up against me, never scared, never afraid. Never ask Layla Wheels if I'm afraid.
After allegations of the sex trafficking of a minor and the stabbing incident was dismissed by Universal Zulu Nation as rumors following the article, other victims began to emerge against Afrika Bambaataa, and many are aware of Ronald B. Stinger, Savage, and Hassan Poppy Campbell, who alleged similar sexual misconduct against Afrika Bambaataa in 2016. Ronald B. Stinger, Savage, and Hassan Poppy Campbell, both following coming out against Afrika Bambaataa, spoke of being aware of the stabbing of him and his manager Ahmed Henderson in an article of Canada-based Noisy Vice magazine and published by journalist Dave Wedge.
Who also wrote about Khalil Amani, which is the safe space for me to say things took place in 2013, though Layla Wheels, Troy Star Terrain, and others on the line said started taking place in 2016 when they introduced Ron Savage and her son Campbell. It was only to take the attention off the boy, whom Kay Slay had the article written so he can control the narrative. A word that was introduced to the whole conversation by me, the narrative, because I'm a narrative-based company. The narrative So it wouldn't be no narrative about the boy. But I've been talking about the boy ever since day one.
Ronald B. Stinger, Savage, and Hassan, Poppy Campbell, has done interviews on this platform and other of our affiliate channels, one of which was wrongfully terminated after being false flagged for copyright infringement by Chicago-based journalist Layla Wills, Khalil Amani, and the now deceased DJ K. Slay.
And that's why they took that channel. That's why I'm not afraid to go to court, because when we go to court, all I'm going to ask for is discovery, which we're going to get that Israel Doctrine Reloaded information and other stuff. So y'all can say whatever y'all got to say about me now and try to do stuff now. I reported y'all and the things that y'all was doing before y'all did them. So everything you doing is keeping the RICO open. Layla Wills, Khalil already told you, the son putting you in a RICO. He's putting you in a RICO. You won't even ask him to stop doing what he's doing because you think it's cute, because you sent him out of here to do it. But when we go to court and y'all lose, it's going to be hell to tell the judge. But I know y'all want my life before we go to court.
After doing the interview with this platform on its former sister channel Israel Doctrine Reloaded in 2017, Hassan, Poppy Campbell, would later allege during an interview on the Queen's Flip channel episode 29 that following the stabbing incident he was given a photo of the teenage Latino or Spanish boy who stabbed Afrika Bambaataa and Ahmed Henderson by Afrika Bambaataa to murder on behalf of Universal Zulu Nation Security Arm Zulu Warrior Security.
And that's just it. None of this
After
is
Ben
stop.
got out of the hospital to figure out what really happened, and he gave me the picture of a light-skinned Puerto Rican little boy that looked just like me as a kid. And he gave me that picture because I was going to be the one who killed that boy for Afrika Bambaataa.
No, Slender. He said it. You just heard him say it. But yet, everybody coming against me and want my life. Hey, look. I didn't tell on Bam. I didn't do none of this stuff that her son did. That's who y'all should be going and get. I should wake up one morning and hear about him like I heard about DJ K. Slay, but y'all afraid of her son.
Israel Doctrine Entertainment's movement, which was based on the question of what happened to that boy and ode to the Clips song, is now over 8 going on 9 years old, and still no justice has been brought against Afrika Bambaataa short of what is reported to be a default civil judgment brought by a John Doe victim against him in the New York Supreme Court in the county of the Bronx earlier this year.
So they ain't did nothing about Bambaataa. They did nothing about her son. Ron Savage has been attacked, taken to court and everything, but them two individuals, the one that gave the picture, the one that took the picture, ain't nothing been done. And everybody, they mama know about it. Layla Wills know about it. Marcy Hamilton know about it. Dave West know about it. Troy Star Terrain know about it. All these people know about it. They don't give a F about that boy. But I'm trying to live in peace with them. But they got their little government agent Khalil Amani out here steady effing with me. That's why I said no matter what I can say I'm having a good day and stuff. He'll be talking about I'm in the house trying to kill myself and murder myself because he's trying to turn my words against me.
Now back to the star of this episode, Tupac Shakur, and the Universal Zulu Nation connection alleged to having been the build-up to the shooting of Shakur at Quad Studios. I would like the viewers to use their search engine on YouTube and type Born Love to God shows how Zulu Nation TC Islam interview with Tupac Shakur leads to Tupac robbery. The channel that released the video I just gave the title to is The Immortal Thought.
Remember, the link will be up under the video.
I want to stress the importance of what I will be discussing here to provide this episode to episode 2 of Murder Doctrine, as it will speak on the murder of TC Islam. It is alleged by Born Love to God, an affiliate of Universal Zulu Nation, that what actually began the events that spiraled towards the shooting of Tupac was an interview done with the also now deceased TC Islam with Shakur, where it was alleged that Shakur was asked which coast had the best producers, and that the answer given by Tupac caused a financial rift in the hip-hop world of production and beat-making when Tupac said hands down the West Coast producers made better hip-hop beats than me.
That's gonna be it. I'm tired of entertaining y'all with that Murder Doctrine series. But a lot of y'all don't know about it. Y'all need to check out my channel, YouTube Streets Info Mob, and get the information, because I am an info activist. And I give information and I make the information active. So with that, I'm a born whistleblower. I ain't afraid to be called a whistleblower. I'm not afraid to be called a snitch. It's just I know who's calling me a snitch. It's the Snitch Network. You call me a snitch, you work for the Snitch Network. That's why legal ramifications are in place and will be pursued one way or another, because you done tried to do me wrong. You done tried to dog the man that was doing right and trying to do right in the community. I'm Rock, and you the drug dealer. And you done came to my house and threatened me and my family, and think you gonna walk out my house? Oh boy, you in my house threatened me and my family. Think. But with that said, I will be right back in a couple minutes with another video with an affiliate of mine. So I would like to know your thoughts. Please leave a comment. Tell me if you think this or you think that. I really would like to know. Please support. Talk with y'all later. We'll be back in just a sec. Peace.